The diaspora synagogues in South Asia are not the only worried parties. The sharpest pressure will come from Jerusalem. Paul knew. He'd lived there. He knew what the hardliners would be saying and thinking. He had been one of them, a Pharisee of the Pharisees. You see, Jews in the diaspora had mostly figured out how to live alongside their pagan neighbors with greater or lesser contact or integration. But for Jerusalem hardliners, it seemed different. Think about it. Galatians was written, I think, in the late 40s, 48 or 49, less than a decade after Caligula, famously, had ordered a massive statue of himself in the guise of the god Jupiter to be erected in the Holy of Holies in the Jerusalem temple. You only had to read Daniel, very popular in the first century, to see the point. These Romans are the ultimate beast from the waters of chaos. Hardline Jews thrived on stories of pagan abomination and idolatry, and the Romans were now clearly the ultra-pagans. Of course, fortunately, Caligula died before the order could be carried out, but the Jews read the signs. There were already movements of revolt which would soon turn into the disastrous war of the late 60s. So, if there was a crisis coming and people could see it coming, with God's loyal people fighting against the forces of darkness, it was vital for Jews everywhere to stay true to Torah, to be scrupulous in avoiding contamination from hamartoloi, Gentile sinners. Otherwise, the promised redemption, which many believed was due to arrive any day, might be delayed yet again. They'd had enough of false dawns. This time, they would stick to Torah for all it was worth and make sure as many Jews as they could would do so as well. Then God would give them the victory, the redemption, freedom, and peace. So let's be clear. The reason hardline Jews like Saul of Tarsus were zealous for Torah had nothing to do with earning moral credit to get into heaven. It was all about Israel being faithful to God in the hope that he would send his deliverance at last, on earth as in heaven. So any Jew going soft on Torah and fraternizing with Gentile sinners was how it usually began, was letting the side down. Such people had to be brought back into line. That was why 15 years earlier, Saul himself had gone off to Damascus.